This is the Conscious Business Podcast. I want to digress a little bit here. So, what was other people's feedback? Or like, how did you feel about telling other people in your life about your career change? You're going from a stable income, like what mom and dad preach you to do as a kid, get a nice stable job, right? And you're getting rid of that to now go be commission only sales in an industry that a lot of people don't have a very good perception of. How did your guys' people in your spheres, whether it be friends or family, react to you telling them, and when did you tell them? Like, tell us about your experience.
Who wants to go first?
You go first. Yeah.
So my aunt was a mortgage consultant as well, and she's been forever. So my family was very, very well versed into what I was getting into. My other aunt, actually, who briefly did the mortgage consultant thing, she was the one that gave me the most negative feedback.
The one that was in the business.
Yeah. So I had two aunts. My one aunt was like long-term broker for like 30 plus years. My other aunt was like a broker for like 10 maybe.
Okay, so I'll tell you right now that she's just mad because she didn't succeed.
100%.
In it. So she thinks it's the tools that are broken, not the carpenter.
100%. So she was like much older in her life when she became a broker, and she's a very outgoing person, but I don't think was led the right way to like find stuff. So like she made it very clear that like I was gonna have a hard time making like $100,000 a year, and like it was just like a tough business kind of thing.
Now, did you at the time recognize that was her own insecurities surrounding the business that was talking, and not a serious concern?
I recognized it was coming from her experience of the business. I wouldn't say I recognized as her insecurities, but like I recognized that she didn't do well. And that's what was talking.
Yeah, the fact that she was angry about the fact that she didn't do well. She's bitter.
Yeah.
So you recognized it at the time, so it didn't hurt you as bad?
Well, and because too, my other aunt, God bless, because she passed away, she was always like considered like the wealthy aunt. And like when I would stay there for summer, it was always like we were driving like her convertible, or like she'd take me out to dinner with clients and like tons of this stuff. So it was always like...
Was she married?
No,
she's just this single realtor that was balling.
Yeah.
Having a great time.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awesome aunt.
Yeah. So like I wasn't worried about that.
That's what I want to do.
Be a woman?
Be an awesome aunt.
Oh. Why do you get so serious?
Uncle. God
damn. You can be whatever you want. You can be a bibbidi bop. We don't need to get there. Okay? So yeah.
What about... So your mom saw both sides then, correct?
Yeah.
She would have... Was it your mom's sisters?
Yeah.
And all on the same side of the family. Yep. So your mother would have seen your one aunt do it, succeed in it, and have a great time. And then you saw one take it, fail, crash and burn. So what was your mom's impression of it?
Mom was totally fine with it.
Because she thought that you had what it took to do what the other sister did? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, and plus too, like, she saw me do... Like, as soon as we found out Cade was coming, would, like, stop playing soccer, got a job, like, worked whatever hours, like, I would do what I had to do to succeed. So.
Interesting.
Your turn.
So I'm trying to think, like, when I actually told my parents, per se. But I think I had more or less announced that, like, I wanted to get out of what I was doing. So I actively started a search. And then I recall, like... telling them that I wanted to get the book and start learning, and for the amount of money that you have to invest to get to the book, I thought I'd like actively read and learn and do something I do on a regular basis and see if it will actually make me money and it would be a lucrative decision. And then I told my parents, I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to write, I'm going to get my exam, I'm going to start my business. This is my timeline. This is what I wanted to do. And it was, honestly, I don't even think like they didn't think I wanted to do it per se, or it was like questioned that I was able to do something of the like. At least that's what we're kind of getting to, is like they believe the most in me, right? But it seems like whenever people look at you, they don't believe you can do it until like you feel confident that you can do it. And that is a part of real estate that is tough, is there's a lot of people that are going to doubt that you can do it, but damn, like I'll meet a lot of people that they know I can do it.
Yeah, and to be fair, the success rate is not very high. It's like 70% of realtors
Drop
don't make
out
it past
in
the
2
first 2 years, and another 15% drop out after the next 2.
It's an expensive gig, high level, high demand, high, like you need to be sharp. And if you are running an efficient business with good character, you'll do awesome, right? And that's the part that I think.
So did anyone give you negative feedback to it?
To what I was doing?
To the jump?
I think there was.
What about your wife?
I think there was like a serious question, and that's what I kind of think. Like,
yeah, what about your wife? Because then there was introduction to a baby in the scene as well.
Totally.
So now it's not just you two. Now there's a baby.
Yeah, and so we like figured out that these years of our kids' life aren't going to be very expensive if we want to involve ourselves more by being a parent and being at home or working on the business and taking that sacrifice. Like I gained 3 hours a day just by, you think about that, that's 15 hours in a week that I get extra just not going to work.
Just not driving to Burnaby.
Driving to Burnaby, having to have a lunch, right? Just things like that. So I get to spend that time with my family. That's 2 days of work, if you think about it, right? So I definitely like value that gain time. And we needed childcare, right? So it was a smart move financially, and it gave me an opportunity to build up the business at a foundational level, right?
Yeah, like we were saying before. So then what about, do you have a girlfriend at the time when you made the switch? Anyone dependent other than your son?
No. Did I? Not super serious at the time, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
What was your son's reaction? Like, did he know a change happened? And
he just started seeing me wearing a suit, and he didn't know why. Instead of dirty clothes.
Yeah, Daddy stopped beating people up and started wearing a nice shirt. Is that what happened?
Had somebody else beat people up. So, no, I think like there was, besides my aunt, there wasn't really any negative reaction to it on my side. How about you?
Mine, this was probably my own thing, carried on judgment from past experiences instead of just being open and communicating like a normal human being. I took, because when I was working in the oil field, I was up there just because, you know, I knew I had to do it. I had to go up there. I wanted to put away a bunch of money, buy a house, get ahead, and then get out, right? Just use the oil field to make money and get out which I did successfully without any addictions or any giant debts.
Or
so
missing limbs
or that.
Man.
I know a few guys that got pretty messed up physically up there. But where is it going?
Who reacted to you?
Oh, yeah. So, and I was looking for exit strategies to get out of the oil field. And then I thought, for a couple different reasons, corrections would be a good one. It would give me enough time, because I was really invested in the investment side of real estate, that it would give me enough time to be able to manage properties, to be able to do research that I want to be doing to find cash flowing properties, and just give myself some time to, do some more due diligence work for myself to make myself a more savvy investor, essentially, right? So, the schedule for them is shift work, 4 on, 4 off, 4 nights, 4 off, whatever. It's like all over the place with like different lengths of how many days in a row without days off, but like it's a fairly balanced schedule. And also I felt that I was good at not taking things home with me, being that I worked on service rigs. As much as I might sound like a pussy saying this, but like you get abused pretty heavily, like verbally abused, physically abused, because you're new and you don't know anything, and they don't have the patience to train you well, because they want to test you first to see if you're even worth training.
How did that make you feel?
Well, the thing was that I didn't let it affect my life. Like, yes, it was a negative part of living there, but I didn't let it infect my daily enjoyment of life. Like I just was able to kind of, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's just work, and carry on with my life. I didn't take it personal. And so therefore I thought I would be good at separating myself from the work, being able to not be affected deep down inside by seeing traumatic things or having traumatic experience in the prison. Because I know a few people that have PTSD from things that they've seen or experienced in a prison. And I know some people that absolutely love it. They're on the emergency response team, and when they hear that alarm go, they get stoked because they know they get to go in there, throw a guy around and put a guy in an arm bar, and just like to be able to like tie him down if he's getting out of hand. Like, he loves it, right? He's probably seen some wild things, and he's not actually in it anymore. But I mean, that was someone that I was talking to at the time when I was looking to make that transition. So when I told my parents about that career choice, they did not have very good feedback. So it was like one of those things like, wow, like I put a lot of thought on this, and like you guys just shooting it down like nothing. Like, I guess I'm not going to come to you guys next time, right? Like, I'm just not going to tell you, so I don't have to deal with your negative attitudes, right? So that's where I brought judgment from a past experience into the newest time, because I didn't want to hear the negativity about this career change, because I thought it was something that I was really like, I could see being a super passionate job and bringing a lot of fulfillment, just because like how much of I was enjoying the process of the transaction and like the search and the hunt, and just wanting to be able to monetize that somehow and be able to make income off of it, right? So I just didn't want to hear their negativity. So I didn't tell them. I kept it from them. And then I told my Auntie Pam, who lives up there, and I told her specifically, don't tell my mom. Like, I haven't told her yet. And she did. Because one time I drove down to Vancouver, and I just popped in to say hi or have dinner or whatever. And I was coming down to write the exam the first time I took it, because I failed the first time. So when I was down there to write the exam, and my mom, all of a sudden, we're just hanging out. She just says, "So how's the whole real estate thing going?" I'm like, "I beg your pardon, what?" Right? Because I didn't think they know. Then I was like, yeah, okay, I'm doing it. And they were actually pretty supportive. Like, in seeing like it being a decent choice and an ability to make a good living, although neither of them are very entrepreneurial based. Like, you know, dad's government worker, my mom was, you know, she didn't really, she worked, but like not in a sense like this, where it's like starting your own business and starting from scratch and having to be only commission. Like she worked at the elementary school as like a noon hour supervisor, then cleaned houses for some of the teachers that she had made relationships with, because they're at the school all the day, and then so they get their houses cleaned because they got kids and shit, make a mess.